All right. Hey everyone. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 1 of the Wide Awake show. This is the first actual episode after yesterday's introduction of the new series, so I'm really excited to get started on these videos. So today we will be talking about the potential Trump running mates, and there are quite a few, and I will be ranking them number 1, and of course, um, you know, making some comments about each one, we will say. So, looking at my screen now, we have, as I said, quite a few people who Trump might pick. Now, this is just a tier list found on Tier Maker. So a lot of these have no real chance of being Trump's VP. I don't even know where this person got some of them, like John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana, or Lauren Boebert, the congresswoman from Colorado, or Marsha Blackburn, the senator from Tennessee. These people, like some of them, just have 0% chance of winning, or not, of being chosen, I should say. I mean, in absolute 0% chance. They're not even in consideration. But still, the state of the VP race it remains very uncertain because every day there's someone that has been ruled out by Trump, or there is a new list, or there is a new short list that includes somebody that hadn't even been thought of as a potential pick before, and it's all over the place. So right now, I'm not even confident on really any of them. If I had to pick someone that I think Trump would, or who I think would be the nominee, it would be Tim Scott. But really, there are so many possibilities that with something like this, I am very uncertain. So with that said, let's rank these guys. And I mean, it's really sad that this is the list and that these are the people that could very well be Trump's next running mate. Because um before I start ranking, this will just go for so many of these people. And I do want to preface this is that um the people who abandon like their values and everything to simply get ahead in political life, right? To get an advantage down the road. I honestly hate them more than people who are honestly idiotic, who are actually mentally deranged and have mental problems. I really um dislike a lot of these people who just kiss up to Trump right after they drop out of the race or whatever, or they just kiss up to Trump because they want to be the VP pick. Those are the people that really bug me. I mean, really, really bug me. And that goes for a lot of these politicians. I mean, that is Washington for you. That is Washington in a gist. So, starting with Marco Rubio, one of the few people that I think actually have a real possibility of being nominated for vice president, for being chosen by Trump. For Trump's sake, he is a good choice. Definitely brings a lot of voters, new voters, Latino voters, especially to the table for the Republican Party. But that's not what this video is about. Marco Rubio is someone who despised Trump in 2016 when they were rivals, but nowadays, no problems with him. But Marco Rubio isn't someone who goes out of his way um, and defends Trump at all instances, really like a lot of these people do. And this scale um is based off of is relative, I should say, to the other people. I mean, really all of these people, maybe besides like Nikki Haley and like Mike Pence potentially, would be out of F tier, and Tulsi Gabbard maybe, and Doug Burgum. Would be in F tier. Like everyone would be in F tier if this was relative to to like the whole country. But this is just relative to themselves. Now Marco Rubio is definitely one of the better picks, I'd say. I mean, I hate to start it off with an S, but Marco Rubio is one of the people that I would feel the best with being vice president of the United States. I mean, out of the list, I remember this is just simply out of the list. I'd say that Marco Rubio is probably the best. And I don't like to start it off that way, but that is just how it happened to start off. I did not plan that. I don't think about these things beforehand. So Marco Rubio, I mean, it's someone who I obviously have fundamental disagreements with, but he is not someone. He is a Mike Pence, right? So when it actually comes down to democracy and protecting democracy and how, um, whatever, and ensuring that things like January 6th don't happen again, Marco Rubio is going to be one of the best people to handle that, like the way Mike Pence did on January 6th. And I hate to sound like a DNC operative there, but it's true. And we have to talk about those things when we're talking about potential Trump VP picks. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. I wouldn't be talking about that if we're talking about or people who just or politicians. I mean, who just including some who inspire me, right? Who inspire people who actually have good ideas, but given the other people on this list, we actually do have to consider the fact that a lot of these people would try to not overthrow democracy, but definitely handle it in a negative way. And that brings us right to someone like Josh Hawley, uh, who is way out there, who I really who doesn't even try to be bipartisan at all. He's one of the people who it seems just wants followers on Twitter and someone like a Marjorie Taylor Greene type who doesn't care about governing at all and tries to be the least or the most partisan as he can possibly be. So Josh Hawley I would put in D tier. I really, really have a burning, passionate hate for Josh Hawley. Now John Kennedy, yes, he sucks, and yes, he is an evil person when it comes to policy. He is much too he was one of the most conservative members of Congress, way too conservative for my liking. But at least John Kennedy, I don't feel like is someone, and I'll actually move him up to B. I don't feel like John Kennedy is someone who is in it for the bad reasons. As I said, the what I said at the beginning of the video, where I really hate the people who just are trying to get ahead. That's their only purpose for whatever, supporting Trump and talking about him every minute of the day. And John Kennedy doesn't do that. I mean, he is his own man. It seems like. I mean, it doesn't really seem like he cares about other politics. And I mean, again, he's not even trying to be VP, so I don't know why he's on this list. Then we have Lindsey Graham, who would be awful because he has like zero personality and is potentially the worst leader for someone to serve as vice president. But I mean, as much as we hate to say it, Lindsey Graham is a John McCain figure who will, and I'm not saying I'm a John McCain fan, but at least someone who like makes some attempt to work across party lines, like to take common sense positions on a lot of things. But then again, a lot of his foreign policy sucks. He is so interventionist. I mean, he wants to get into every little problem. I mean, he is just a neocon at its core. But when you compare it to the rest of this list, neocons aren't always going to be the worst option possible, I guess. Then we come to Ivanka Trump, who, I mean, I'll just be totally honest, like, she is, like, one of the best people on this list. I would put her at A. I mean, I don't have a huge problem with Ivanka Trump except for the fact that she made, like, hundreds of millions from the Saudis while Trump was president. Her and Jared Kushner made so many deals with Arab leaders and Arab nations um, through Trump's laws and stuff that he passed. So despite that, Ivanka Trump like isn't insane, and I mean, yes, it would be like more like idiotic to have a president and the vice president is his daughter, but then again, she is better than Lindsey Graham, John Kennedy, and Josh Hawley. So what can I say? Then we've got Ted Cruz, who honestly isn't that much of a kiss up to Trump in a weird way. I mean, he kind of was like in the early days of the Trump presidency, but I mean, I understand that. I mean, whatever. He's a member of the party, and I mean, it kind of seems like they're pretty similar on issues. Now, Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump are complete polar opposites on many issues, and in a whatever, if everyone was a part of one party, or everyone was independents, Lindsey Graham would be so anti-Trump, but because he wants higher power, or more power, if Trump is elected, Lindsey Graham is kissing up to him, is kissing the ring. But as for Ted Cruz, he really isn't that much far from Trump on policy. He's much more anti-establishment, much more not anti-establishment, but um, less interventionist and everything when it comes to foreign policy. But really, in some ways, Ted Cruz is better than the others in a strange sort of way. So relative to this list, I would put Ted Cruz at B. Even though he is a moron on a lot of things, he is better than a lot. All right, so now we have Joni Ernst from the state of Iowa. She is the governor of Iowa. Um, I mean, she is A tier. She's solid. Like, I mean, not solid. She is way. I mean, all of these guys are too conservative for me. I'm far from a Republican. I'm closer to being a Democrat than I am a Republican. So none of these guys are really going to be appealing to me. But Joni Ernst is again someone reliable. Like, at least she will keep Trump kind of sort of in line on some issues. Then we have Tom Cotton, who has proven again and again to really be quite stupid. Like, really not know what he's talking about. The New York Times let him do a editorial and about the protest on college campuses over Gaza, and I believe I'm pretty sure he was the one who called them like what was he, the Hitler Youth guy, or it was I don't know, something he compared it to World War II and Nazism in some way. When that is the least, right, and I'll make videos on this probably, but that is the opposite of intentions for the vast majority of these protesters, right? I mean, just throwing this in there, even though it's not really relevant to this video, I mean, a lot of them are anti-Semitic and they hate Jews, but the majority are coming from a good place, even if what they're doing is idiotic and just stupid and not going to accomplish anything. They think that they are doing the right thing, at least. So unfair for Tom Cotton, but it just shows how a lot of these Republicans have zero humanity. Like, they just don't. And that's what the Republican Party lacks. I mean, that is why Democrats continue to overperform in elections. It really, I think, the core comes down to the fact that voters think Democrats have more humanity. So Tom Cotton, I would put in the D tier. Then we have Candace Owens. Um, I mean, should I just do it? I'll just do F. And it's not because Candace Owens is some outsider and Donald Trump needs someone more establishment because he's too outsider himself. I'm not going into that stupidity. It's just the fact that Candace Owens has zero idea about anything and just says the same old talking points over and over again, and just uses three of her base ideals to decide how she feels about everything else. So Candace Owens is just, oh my god, like if you listen to like Candace Owens, like I understand someone like Ben Shapiro. I guess. Like I don't listen to him obviously. But I understand how people listen to people like Ben Shapiro or whoever else it may be. But Candace Owens, like if you listen to Candace Owens, like that really makes me think less of you. I'm sorry, but it does. Like you are not okay. Like even if you think it's cool or whatever, it's not. Like it is just stupid. Like she has zero idea about anything. And then we come to this guy who looked up. I saw his name like an hour ago when I was preparing this video, and now I forget. But I have no idea who it is. He was some um executive in like, not executive. Whatever. Someone in the executive branch is what I'm trying to say, from the like actual government. Um, and not from Congress. So then we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I would also put in F tier because she, again, I mean, she is just awful because she does not care about governing at all. I mean, you all know the deal, I'm sure. She has zero intention for governing. And I mean, Republicans admit this, I think. I mean, a lot of sensible Republicans at least admit that she has just zero intention for governing. I mean, she just wants those followers. She just wants not even the followers. It's the attention. It's the media attention, in the just whatever the attention that she gets from being the way she is. Now, Newt Gingrich, for some reason, is on this list. I don't know why. Newt Gingrich is one of the better options, I guess, but I honestly don't know much about him, considering the fact that he hasn't served in Congress since like 2006 or something, or whenever, I don't even know. So, I don't really know too much about Newt Gingrich, to be completely honest. I do know that he ran for president in 2012, and I did watch a few of the debates from 2012. And I mean, he seemed like, right in the mainstream in those times. But he's probably on the Ted Cruz, John Kennedy level. Then we have Kevin McCarthy. Interesting that they also put him on the list. And Kevin McCarthy is someone who I hated with a burning passion, with a Candace Owens level passion, like a year ago when he began his speakership, just because of how much of a sellout he was. And I'm not saying that he's not a sellout, but he's not as much of a sellout as I thought. I mean, the fact that he went through with these deals knowing that he was in trouble, the Ukraine, even if I might not agree 100% with all of the deals, whatever, the Ukraine money and everything, it's still apparent that Kevin McCarthy, like, goes through these things, even if it means losing his job. And he's certainly not someone who kisses up to Trump, really. Kisses the ring. So, Kevin McCarthy, A tier, question mark? I think that he would honestly be um one of the better vice presidents. Joni Ernst we have again, but we did her. Don't know why she's on the list. And then we come to baby killer Kristi Noem. So, or sorry, oh, okay, no, not baby killer. Sorry, that's a whole nother level. Puppy killer Kristi Noem. We'll just move past that. Yeah, I mean, puppy killer is one thing. Baby killer is a whole nother thing. But Kristi Noem, I would say, um, so she is one of the worst governors in America. I mean, her record is really horrible. I mean, but out of this list, I don't think that she is as bad as some of these people. I would put her in C tier. I mean, really, she's not someone who is in like really like mentally deranged and like s- strives every single day for this attention and publicity that people like Josh Hawley and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens try to get each and every day. But then again, she is one of these just really horrible people when it comes to her politics. I mean, her drug policy, like a lot of these Republicans, some of their stuff just makes no sense and it just contradicts each other. I won't go fully into it. But Christy Nomad put at C. Ron DeSantis. I met Ron DeSantis, as many of you long time now subscribers may know. I met Ron DeSantis in February, or maybe it was like January 30th or 31st, right before the New Hampshire primary. And he is just uncharismatic and awkward in person, as he is on TV, even during the commercial breaks. Very weird. And yes, he did have lifts in his boots. I can confirm after seeing it in person. But Ron DeSantis, I mean, oof. Like, he is really messed up through and through. I mean, oh my god. Do you remember during COVID with, like, the kids who wanted to wear the masks? Like, nowadays, yes, that is extremely stupid, but then it was, like, common practice, like, normal behavior, and he, like, embarrassed the kids and told them, like, it was useless and just so uncalled for, just, like, humiliated these kids in front of the entire press, and, like, people laughed and everything. So Ron DeSantis has proven, that's just one example, but Ron DeSantis has proven time and time again that he really is a horrible, horrible person with the immigrants just plainly using immigrants as pawns, as political pawns, in this game that he thinks politics is. So DeSantis, I would put in D tier, because at least he's a little more sensible than those in F tier. All right, Tim Scott is up next. Now, Tim Scott is the prime example of someone who was sensible, had some relatively normal stances on a couple of issues, I guess. And then once he dropped out, he realized that he was the perfect person to be Trump's running mate. And just like that, he gives more energy, a lot more energy, at Trump rallies talking about how great of a president Donald Trump was. Gives more energy than at his own rallies when he was an actual presidential candidate. It was like this, it was like, this what is the word? This switch just flipped, right? Like a light switch. And it was just really humiliating for Tim Scott too. Like, you get like secondhand embarrassment. After Trump's South Carolina victory, I remember watching him on TV. They were broadcasting it live, Trump's victory party, and Tim Scott was literally Trump was like, "Where did this guy come from?" Talking about Tim Scott, like, I've never seen this guy before. Like, just plainly demonstrating how much of a personality change up Tim Scott had. So D tier, complete sellout. Mike Pence, like, why is he on this list? I don't know, but we're doing it. One of the better ones, because we actually again have to talk about democracy, keeping democracy when we're talking about this list. I mean, also A tier, because like it would be hilarious to see a Trump Pence administration again, and how like chaotic and just whatever, how mad they would be at each other all the time. That'd be hilarious. Lauren Boebert is just as bad, really, even though as Marjorie Taylor Greene when it comes to attention grabbing and everything. Even though Marjorie Taylor Greene is more successful with her attention grabbing, Lauren Boebert is uh just as bad. I mean, and she's pretty crazy as well. And, she does some things in public areas that she shouldn't, and she completely disrespects. I mean, the thing is with a lot of these people, they just disrespect the office. Right? I think that's what the big change is that we're seeing. And just the decline in our in our politicians, in American politicians, and how degrading they are to us. It's just that they have no respect anymore for the Congress, for the government, which was not the case in or however many years ago. Like, just a few years ago, that was not the case at all. I think that's what the fundamental issue that we're having in this day and age is now. Rand Paul, I actually like. I mean, like, no, don't take that out of context. Out of context, I don't like Rand Paul. But when you compare him to all of these other people, he is actually one of the few who is different. I mean, he is very different from a lot of these people when it comes to issues like foreign policy, like economics, even, and just libertarianism. I mean, he is much more libertarian than the rest of these people. And I definitely agree. I definitely have some strong agreements with Rand Paul on quite a few of issues. Um, so I would put RFK, Rand Paul in A tier. Rick Scott is next. I mean, I don't even know. C tier, mod or normal, very conservative Republican in 2023, senator from Florida. Now Nikki Haley, I also met Nikki Haley. She I mean, I am putting her in S tier easily. I mean, just because that she out of this list is by far the one who hasn't at all kissed the ring. I mean, she dropped out and she could have easily. I'm okay. I shouldn't say easily, but she really could have made herself in the top tier of frontrunners for being Trump's running mate. Just like that, because she was getting a lot of support in these primaries, and Trump picking her would have united the Republican Party, and it would be a much stronger ticket. And she willingly chose not to, and she has no intention of serving as vice president, and she hasn't endorsed Donald Trump. So I have mad respect for Nikki Haley. I really do, and she's one of the few people on this list who is truly a really good person. Next, we have Matt Gaetz, loser, F tier, no explanation needed. Same camp as MTG and Boebert. Marsha Blackburn, is probably like C tier because she's not like so outspoken and just like she's more on the quiet side. I could actually see her getting some work done. But then again, that work is really horrible, evil work. Really just no humanity again. And then I think I'm pretty sure this is this Kimberly Guilford? Like or Guilfoyle? I don't know, but she is one of like she was in the White House and she's like married to like Eric or Don Jr. or something. D tier, I'll give her some sympathy. D tier. Then we have Doug Burgum, S tier, because like on one specific issue, which I honestly think is a big issue, is like housing, and energy in some ways. Like that Burgum does have quite a bit experience with that. And he is on the much more moderate side than a lot of these people, which I appreciate when you look at the rest of this list. And I honestly think that he would bring a lot to a Trump administration. I mean, I'll just be honest. Doug Burgum is a Republican who does have a lot of good ideas. He is not too out there. Elise Stefanik, she is going to be B tier because she kisses the ring so much. Yes, it's obnoxious. Then again, what? I don't know. But C tier, I guess. C tier. That brings her down to C. I don't know what she brings. Then we have Byron Donalds. I mean, yes, he's young, energetic. But I mean, what does that even matter? But I really don't know much about Byron Donalds. Is he libertarian? I'm pretty sure he's kind of libertarian. Let's put him at C tier. And then we have Tulsi Gabbard, who I would put in A tier. She has fallen a lot. I mean, you all know, I assume, how I would feel about Tulsi Gabbard. She really had a downfall. And she really just lost so much of her progressive ideals that I loved so much. Her libertarian, really progressive ideals. At least she is still on the anti-war side. She hasn't caved into Trump, to Trump's position on that, right? Just because she wants that VP spot, but it is clear that she wants the VP spot. She goes in A. Ben Carson doesn't have any idea what's going on. Let's put him in D tier. And fun fact, one time I saw a Ben Carson for president 2016 bumper sticker in a Walmart parking lot. I saw that in 2022 or probably 2023 actually. So that leaves these two who I'm not doing. So here it is. So that's the show for today. Half an hour, good length. That's what I expect many of these videos to be about, and probably less most of them because tier lists always take a while. So thanks for listening to the Wide Awake Show. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch all my other videos, and I will see you all next time.